Warning: the Gel Blaster toy shown in this video could be mistaken for a real firearm. Do not take Gel Blasters into public spaces or it will likely be treated as real by authorities. Gel Blasters are classified as toys in Queensland regulations, however this may be different in your state or territory. Be sure to check your local laws before buying or ordering a Gel Blaster. Also, ensure you use adequate eye protection whenever using Gel Blasters. Stay safe, everyone.
Righto, boys and girls, welcome back into the studio for another Gel Blaster review. So what we're looking at today is a LeHui Aug, otherwise known as an F88 or EF88, depending on if you served, which country you're from, that sort of thing. But it is the Steyr AUG Gel Blaster. This one's made by LeHui. Quite nice. They're the same guys who made the Chris Vector, is probably the most popular version of blaster that they've made and produced. So a few things here which are looking pretty good, a couple of things which are a bit annoying, but we will get to those. So we're going to jump straight into it because there's no need to delay for this one. If you've ever been a fan of the Australian military or you've ever actually served in the military, I know a lot of guys who are ex-servicemen were looking forward to this one coming out because it's something familiar to them that they've done drills with, that sort of thing. You are probably going to like it, however there are some potential pitfalls you just need to be aware of. Now, what I will do straight up is just tell you that it does feel fairly solid. The hand grip does feel nice, that front hand guard there feels good, and this front foregrip, while it's a little bit flimsy on the sideways, it does seem to hold pretty solid. You can simply pull that out and lift it up, and that locks in the front like that. So if you wanted to hold it like such, you could do so. I wish that was a little bit more solid, but it's not really all that bad, so you can get over it. You will note that it does have quite a long barrel on it, so this I believe is actually the rifle version of the Aug. And you will notice quite a bit going on back here. That is because this is a Bullpup design, so your gearbox and everything is all contained back here. So you do have quite a long inner barrel, which is good because it means you get a long inner barrel for a short package. If you were to cut this right down, it would be quite a contained little blaster. So there is that. Obviously some people are really big fans of Bullpup designs, some are not. I do like them because I think they look cool, but that's just me. I also like short blasters to maneuver. But anyway, so starting at the business end, you do have a flash hider. This is the orange one you got attached here. It does go onto a thread on the end there, so a lot of the threaded hop-ups and things like that should theoretically fit on it. However, it does look a bit bigger than some of the other threads like the J9 and whatnot, so just be mindful on that one and double check before you go buying anything. The outer barrel is just plastic, but it is, if I look in there, we'll just take that off. Alrighty. Okay. So the barrel is actually sunk in there. I do believe that it comes with a plastic barrel as standard, like most blasters that come from the main manufacturers. Just something to be mindful of there. The other one is this is not a reverse thread, so it does follow righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So some stuff is not going to thread onto that. Just be mindful of that. Moving along, you do have the where it starts going up into the bigger barrel and connection sections up near the front of the body. You do have a nice little sling attachment just there, and of course that foregrip. Now, of course, that is very much plastic, and like I said, it does have a bit of sideways movement, but it's not too bad for what it is. If you move further along on the right hand side, you don't really have a whole lot until you go into this top rail off the carry handle. Now that is a Picatinny rail, so you can mount scopes on it, connections, sling attachments, whatever you want to do. Of course, scopes I think are fairly pointless, but the option's there if you wish to do it. Move further on, you do get down to the actual pistol grip. Pistol grip is smooth, so I do recommend gloves for this one, especially if you're running around. The handguard though does feel good, and it does have more weight towards the back. Now on the left hand side just here, there is a little pull lever just here. Now this, if you pull it right back, is a mag prime. So you can pull it and lock it back like that. However, you need to pull it back like that and it will start priming the magazine if you have one in. So it's nice to see that they have a mag prime in that. The LeHui do tend to do that quite a bit, so I'm not surprised, but it's definitely good to see. Now, just here above the trigger or the pistol grip on the left and the right side is a block switch that sort of moves in and out of the blaster. That's your safety and fire select. So if it's fully depressed on the left hand side, so like it is just there, that's a safety. You cannot pull the trigger in. So it is effective. If you get it one click out, that is semi-automatic. Like so. I do already have a battery in this, don't worry, I'll show you that. If you do it one more click, you get a 3-round burst. That's really nice. I like that they're doing that. And then of course, all the way in, the last click, that's now full auto. So there is some quite nice options there, and because of the sides of it, it's sort of ambidextrous, not really. It's one of those things. But if you are right-handed, it is quite easy to push that across. And to be honest, if you're left-handed, you can just use your thumb like so and your forefinger. So it is quite nice that they have done that. I think it works well. Moving towards the back of the buttstock, your gearbox and everything is contained in here, so there's not really a lot going on. However, what you do have is your mag well just there, as that is where the magazine goes in, just there, and your mag release there. Because it's back there, it is technically ambidextrous. I will show you your magazine shortly. The actual buttstock does have a rubberized pad just there. The reason for that is that's where your battery is contained. So I will open it up now. You can just pull it out. Can be a bit of a pain when you're trying to hold on to it a certain way and do it in front of a camera. Because of course it is. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so you just pull that off, just slots in, and it does come with a 7.4 volt battery standard. This is not the standard battery that comes with it. This is one I had laying around. It's the same voltage, and it does have your standard JST battery connection just there. So most of your batteries are going to work on this. It is not a bad size compartment. However, I do think some of the stick types might struggle to fit in there. You just have to do some testing and see what works for you. Your bigger airsoft batteries like your Turnigies and whatnot, maybe not. So just be mindful of that. You might have to get creative. Although there is a little section back here with a lip on it protecting the back of the gearbox, you might be able to do something there, but like I've learned the hard way with most things, just try and deal with it as best you can without having to cut into any plastic. And that literally just pushes straight back on, and you are now good to go. So, magazine. One thing that annoys me about this, they have made it a unique magazine. So this doesn't take M4 mags. It is a very unique design. It has this little catch in it where the mag terminals are and everything. So if you want spare mags, you have to buy these mags. You do not get a choice. Now they look cool and whatnot, and they seem pretty good, but that is disappointing. It would have been so nice if they had made it M4 mags, because then you would have had so much more utility. But anyway, it is very plastic, does have this design on it, which is nice, especially for gripping onto. It's not the biggest mag in the world. In fact, I dare say it's a bit smaller than most M4 standard mags, but that's okay. You do have a catch there to catch the gels, and your mag terminals just there, obviously electric magazine. Now to fill it up, you lift up that little latch, it comes back, and there's a nice little section there for you to just jam a speed loader into. So, not a bad design, bit different, but like I said, not a bad one. Now, in order to put the magazine in, it's pretty straightforward. Just obviously goes curved end first, into the mag well like so. So what you can do is you can put it up, go in, just push it in, and you're now set and ready to go. To take it out, put your thumb on that mag release and pull down with your fingers, and you're out. So, very straightforward, very simple, very effective. And like I said, it does have a mag prime, which is nice. So yeah, let's have a look at a chrono test of it and take it outside for some accuracy testing and see how it goes. Righto. So, Aug chrono test. Yeah, it's not too bad. Seems to be averaging between 200 and 220, which is a bit low, a bit on the low side, but I think that might just be purely the long barrel more than anything else. So it might actually be worth cutting this down to make it a carbine version, or carbine version, depending on which part of the world you're in. But by no means bad at all. To see if I can actually get my... Yep. So that seems alright. Rounds minutes 580. Not bad by any stretch. I believe 550 is about what an Uzi is in the real world. So, like I said, it's not designed for suppression, and with the minimalist sized magazine, you don't really want stupid fire rates anyway. So, yeah, all in all, not bad. Let's head outside. Righto, single shot. First. And full auto.
Semi-automatic. First. Full auto. Mag empty test.
So the LeHui Aug, it looks good, it feels good. I have been tempted to buy one myself, but I just haven't really had the spare money to throw at it, and there are others I would prefer over it. But if you do pick it up, it's by no means a bad choice. It does seem to perform pretty well out of the box. The magazine that's unique is annoying. The long barrel is kind of annoying considering the start of the barrel is back here. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world, it just is what it is. And the only other thing I know is that a friend of mine who has one of these has had a fair few issues with the micro switch for the trigger. It has burnt out and had issues, so it stopped working. I haven't heard this being a common problem too much from many people. So I'm hoping that he's just got a bad version or a dodgy one, which is entirely possible with these things, especially when you look at some of the makes, like on the rubber butt pad here or the mold lines and whatnot. But it is disappointing that his did fail. The foregrip is a bit flimsy. I mean, there's not a lot you can do about that, but I wish they had put a little bit more effort into it. But 3-round burst is nice. You know, it's not a bad blaster by any stretch. I think if you bought it, you would be happy with it. Just be mindful of a couple of things, and that magazine is really annoying, as well as because the inner barrel is sunk in, getting a hop up for it might be a bit annoying as well. Mag prime though, good. So, recommended accessories, honestly, I think you'd want 3 extra magazines for most standard skirmish games because of the smaller mag. Unless you're maintaining discipline, you've got some good accuracy and a 3-round burst, you're probably going to need them. If you've got a good hop up and some discipline, then you probably only need 2 extra magazines just for backup, because 1 magazine will probably last you half a game if you are being very careful. But I'd say 3 extras is probably a good standpoint. Hop up, as usual with these things. I don't think it needs an 11-volt battery. You can if you want, but I think it's just going to be a waste of time because you're just going to drain this little magazine even faster, and you don't need the fire rate. If you want something that's high fire rate, buy a 249 and modified, or an M4 or an ACR or something, and give it a drum mag. You know, this is not designed for that, so I don't recommend it for those sort of support or suppression roles. But that's just me. Yeah, I don't mind it. Is it worth the money? That's up to you ultimately. A lot of people either love or hate this design, like most bullpups, so whichever camp you fall into, you probably already decided if you want it or not. But it's definitely not a bad choice by any stretch, especially not compared to some. So those have been my thoughts on this F88 Aug. Now, if you've got any opinions or anything you're curious on, post it down below. Happy to keep the conversation going. Very curious if you've got them, what you've done to them, especially if you are ex-service and whatnot. This will probably be very familiar to you, and you probably love the fact that you now get one, or at least a newer one. The old one was not very good to begin with. So yeah, comment down below, like the video if you liked it, share it, tell your friends about it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. In fact, we just went over 2,500 subscribers, so thanks for that. I will also be doing a channel chat video soon explaining a few things about what's been going on if I didn't already do it and post it up, but I'm trying to do the 2 reviews before that, so I shouldn't have. If you got anything you want to ask in that, just post down below, I'll see what I can do. And of course, if you want to support the channel, links down below in the description to buy me a coffee, PayPal donations, all that. 100% optional, not required for you to enjoy it. I don't hide anything behind a paywall, it's all there. But other than that, as usual, I'll catch you next time. I'm still undecided on buying one. I want to, but I don't have the spare money.